Hey, what's up, everybody? JSPOT Jonathan here. As you know, got a quick request to show how to add font to a 3D print or text. Somebody saw it in one of my videos and were like, "Tell me how you do that." So I figured, why not make a quick tutorial? Let's get right into it. As I've mentioned before, I use a little tool called Microsoft 3D Builder. A lot of people are like, that's the MS Paint of 3D tools. Well, guess what? It works. It works well. And when it comes to font, it has a little trick you can use. I think you can use this in other tools too, but I'm not super versed there. So the little thing that I'm so into about this app is, since it's a Microsoft tool, it can use like your Microsoft Windows font library. So more specifically, in this tool, there's a function called emboss, and you can use that to emboss or negative emboss, so engrave different images onto your 3D model. And text is one of their built-in applications of that. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. I chose emboss. You see letters pop up on there. You can do a bunch of things like resize. You can slide it around. You can rotate it. Easy, right? Nothing crazy. Let's drag it up here to the top. We're gonna write some text up here on top of this here block. Another fun thing you can do when you're excuse me, looking at the sizes of this, you can make it real tall, you can shrink it down inside, and that's how you kind of engrave, like I was mentioning. Along with this, you have two other really options here. You have the type of embossing or engraving that you do, and that is like just writing straight on top, or planar. That's up here in this projection drop down. You can do cylindrical, so it'll do it as flat and then wrapped around as well as it can, or you can do it to spherical, where it'll treat the entire print as a solid ball, and it'll do its best to go from 0 degree to 360 degree. And that's what you see it trying to do here, right? If we were to change this over to something else, like just text, right? Or, yeah, let's all caps it so it takes up more room. Text, you see it try to wrap all around here. There's a cool looking E going on. Let's turn that back to normal though. We're just gonna write text. Here's a bevel. Oh, let's come back to bevel first. The font. These are all the fonts that I currently have, downloaded and installed. Recently, I've been using this one here, Kid Games. I found this on defont.com. Check it out; it's free. But let's show you first an emboss and what I call the engrave. I'm probably using the wrong word. But first here, we're going to do a text that stands up. You can tell here this one is standing up. You make it real tall. You can make it not so tall. And I'm going to turn the bezel off just so we see flat text here. All you do is click emboss. Boom. Flat text. Let's do it again. This time we're going to take it and let's shrink it down a bit. And we're going to throw a bevel on it so you can see the difference. I'll make it a little taller so it's more obvious. Pop it on there. See, the bezel does exactly what you think. It adds a bezel before it flattens out. This is good for making it easier to print. It's a less of a hard edge. It's going to save your internal printing if you do it on a side. Like, imagine this block here had to be printed with its top side up, but the text had to be on a side, and we didn't want to print supports. You could use the bezel because then it'll put it at such an angle that it won't trigger supports, and while it's printing the walls, that external wall will just get layered and layered and layered out and not need supports. So that's really cool. That works the same if you were engraving it and putting it on the inside, like if you're sucking it inwards. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and show off some of that, what that looks like. Oops, wrong button. Emboss. So let's go ahead and suck it in, but with a bezel. See how this looks? Yeah. So it just cuts it right in there. And again, there would be no need for supports. That space in between there, it's going to print just fine as long as you use the bezel. Now, if you were to do the exact same thing without the embezzle, or without the bezel, and just cut it in, man, I'm going to cut it way in there and see what happens. You get this big hollow text. You see that there? It's way inside there. We can zoom in and take a closer look. Look at all that. If I were to deselect it, you can see kind of an x-ray of how deep it's cut in there. All of that would have support because it's flat. There's no angle to build around. So that's kind of the difference there. There are other ways, right? The person that asked me to show this, they were like, people just say, make your own and just slap it on. I'm going to show you how to do that too real quick. The main thing that I use for that is GIMP. You can use any kind of text or photo editor. The big thing is you want to save it as an image. I like PNG because they handle translucence the best. Transparent, I should say, not translucent. Transparency the best. All right, so here's my little workspace here. Grab my text tool, throw it up in here. We're using Kid Games again. One thing about this font, it's a caps only, so I'm gonna just write caps lock because that's the thing on my brain right now. Now I'm gonna pull out my background, right? And the way that 3D Builder is gonna see this is the tallest, it's like a heat map based on color. And the lowest is black and the tallest is white. So I want to actually change this to white, so it's going to stand out quite a bit. All right, and now I'm just going to export this as a PNG, and we're going to just call this text, right? That's what I'm calling everything right now. Throw it on my desktop. My desktop's a mess, sorry. My wife hates it. Feel free to judge me. That's how much I care. All right, so, all right, let's go into desktop, and it was called text.png. We're just gonna drag it in, right? Boom, look at that. It threw us for a loop way over here, but there's our letters. They're a little large, sure. Go ahead and import them. We can change this. Now you get to mess around with this as if it's just a 3D element, you know, in general. So we don't want it to be super tall. Let's cut it down, you know. All right, we're gonna throw it on this side over here. So we're gonna need to rotate it. Let's give it a nice 90 degrees. Let's flip this down 90 degrees and let's line it up. Boop, boop, boop. You're gonna want it to intersect your block a bit, right? Now this is too big. I want to keep the ratio here, so I'm going to use the little corner key and pull it, slide it back around so it's nice and in there. There we go. I'm going to copy it because I'm going to show you two different things you can do with this. So on this side, I'm just going to make it look like one of these up here. And the way you do that, you get it in there, you kind of intersect where you have some space. If we needed to make it smaller, we definitely could, just kind of shrink it up. I think that looks good, and then grab both pieces, highlight both pieces, group them up, and now it's there. It can take any color. You could actually, you know what? I'm going to show you that too. It's pretty fun. So we've got, where did it go? We've got this one. I repasted it. It's a different size since I had just moved that around. We got this one. Let me spin that to minus 180 so it faces that face over here. Bring it over, slide it in spot where I want it to be. You can do the same thing if you want this to be a cutout. You want it to intersect as deep as you want it and then hang out just a bit. So say I wanted it to be this entire piece. You line it up right on the edge there, regrow it, pull it on out. It doesn't matter how far you pull it out. It just has to pass the outside edge, the skin, if you will. Highlight it, come in here to edit. Oh, I can't do it because it has to fix something. One of the cool things that 3D Builder does is it lets you know that there's something wrong, like maybe one of your faces doesn't add up or you have an anomalous hole. It will try to go out, find that, and just take it out of the 3D code and do its best to bring it back. Sometimes you'll click that fix this and that'll just run and run and run and run and run. And it'll just, I don't know. Sometimes I see that a reboot fixes that. I'll come back and do the exact same move and hit fix, and it's just like boom. So it has to do something to do with like a RAM run out or something like that. Again, it's just math. So if it gets hung up on something and it just runs and runs and runs, it's going to keep trying. So understand, it's not just an instant fix, but it's going to do its best. And whereas other tools, better tools like Blender, they're not going to do that, and you just have to fix your print, right? Or fix your model, but that's a modeling software, so that's kind of expected. I think it fits. This is more, like I said, MS Paint. Anyways, back to what we're doing here. Once you have everything good, you got your little spot here. I'm going to cut it that deep. You just hit this subtract button. It's under the edit menu. Just hit subtract. Boom, it's cut out. And now you can see, there it is. Let's deselect all so you can see it is actually cut in there. One last cool thing. Just want to show you. One last cool thing. While you have this here, everything that's not touching each other, so this is a good font for this. This is a very blocky, kind of bubbly font. If you hit ungroup, it literally takes every single letter, and you can play with each letter. You can have all kinds of fun here. And then rinse, wash, repeat. Pretty simple. This video went on a little longer, but hey, some things came up while I was showing you here. All right, now you guys have a nice day. Hopefully this helps. I'm totally willing to show anything and everything else that I do. If you're looking to make 3D models the way that I do, get yourself a micrometer and start plugging away. Remember to be patient. Have fun. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Wait, oh, snap. Okay, hey, oh wait, JSPOT here again. I was editing this video, take out some brief pauses and stuff. And let me be real with you. I was listening to the end there. I told you needed to get a micrometer, or it'd be a good idea to get a micrometer. Micrometer, you have it, you do a little bit of this. It has a little arm and it measures in between there. That's not what I'm talking about. I actually 3D printed one of those. It's pretty cool. But that's not what you need. What you need, or what you should use, is a digital caliper. I have one. This is the one I use. I got it off of Amazon for like 20 bucks. Battery powered. You just slide a little battery in there. What you do is you take it and you can slide. Oh, I got it locked. You can slide it out and it says, hey, this is how wide my finger is. Or you use these two over here. Be like, that's how open my asshole is. You can go, this is how deep my belly button is, right? I don't know why I measure my body parts. Who doesn't? You should. You gotta know these things. I'm just kidding, man. I'm screwing around. But yeah. A digital caliper really helps. It helps you know how big a figure is. I don't have one on my desk. I have this Hello Kitty. Yeah, I could find out that her base is, now that I've zeroed this out, her base is exactly, oh, if I get it in there. Jeez, this is embarrassing. This is the kind of work that I do constantly. It's 36.25 millimeters, which is super important. If I was going to go and make a knockoff version, or if I was going to go make my own, that number, super duper important. Go get your own, Amazon.com. I think I could go get me a new one. I bet there's like fancy ones out there that I've never even thought about. All right, sorry about that. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for watching.